Hey there, food fans. Welcome back to the Food for Thoughtcast with me, your host, Melissa Reagan, and my co-host with the most, Chef Steven Gonzalez. What's up, my guy?
Hello. How are you,
Hello.
everyone?
Amazing. Chef bringing out the big guns tonight with the bad A microphone over there. Love it, love it.
Can you hear me? How about now? I use it from time to time, but I don't know what happened to my usual microphone, so
Hey.
this works.
We're both living that beanie life today. Steve, is that a band on your beanie?
It is Suicidal Tendencies.
Okay. It's like metal.
Like punk,
Ish.
metal.
Punk. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
They've been around since like the early 80s, you know?
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. I am completely ignorant when it comes to that kind of music, but you're going to educate me.
Eventually. One day.
So,
But not
I'm not like super ignorant. I mean, I can be like, yes, Sid and Nancy's, Pantera. You know, like I know a couple things, right?
See, there
like,
you go.
Not new
got
stuff. I'm old. Hey,
You
anyway,
got
I got it. Anyway, Steve, what was the most amazing thing you ate this week?
Well, it's funny you say that because I had quite a bit. I've been eating
Let's do it.
nonstop.
I love
But
it.
I will say, actually, I had a Neapolitan style pizza in Philadelphia.
Ooh. Oh my gosh.
And they had like pears. I want to say like a blue cheese. I want to say it was hazelnuts, pistachios. I wrote it all down.
Probably hazelnuts sounds right for that.
Yeah,
Maybe.
probably.
Did it have arugula or no?
No, that was the best part.
No salad on your pizza. Heard.
Yeah, exactly. I had to write everything down.
Love it.
So, yeah. But we'll get into all that. What about you? What's the most amazing thing you had?
Okay, so I think I've been taking you through a little bit of the saga that is finding good places to eat in a new small town.
Uh-huh.
And what's happening is everything's either a national chain, which I don't have anything against national chains, but sometimes I just want something a little more original, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm finding that if you find a place with good food, they have bad service. And if you find a place with good service, the food sucks.
Yeah.
So I've been narrowing down the list slowly but surely. I found the tacos. Haven't found the pizza yet. Maybe some decent Chinese, but I found the Korean place.
Ooh.
It's called Sue. And they also have an Asian market in the front. So nice. I ordered the Korean style fried chicken to die for. And I got the spicy bulgogi with veggies, and it came with rice and like the pickled spicy cucumbers, kimchi, and like the little wheat dough that you get sometimes when you go to like the Korean place where you cook it in the middle of the table, like just all those fun little sides, right? I got all those things. I ordered takeout. The guy who helped me out was extremely kind, and it's family owned. I'll be back. I'm going to be back.
So this and then was I bought where they had good food and good service.
I know they checked both the boxes, which seems like a really low bar, but you would be surprised. So they had an Asian market in front. So I picked up a strawberry ramune. You know the ramune soda with the glass bottle with the marble inside? Yeah. I picked up one of those. Oh, it's an experience. Good. You got to do it. Yeah, it's really tasty. And then I brought some Shin Black beef bone broth ramen home. It is like the ultimate top of the line premium instant ramen brand. So nice. I was so excited. And I sent a picture to my brother. He's a huge ramen enthusiast, and he was like, "You be jealous." So
ramen is lovely.
Dude, it's so good.
Don't care. Ramen is lovely.
But Steve, here's the move. I'm gonna take the leftover bulgogi because it was a ginormous portion for a really great price. And I portioned it out in little Ziploc baggies, what I couldn't eat. And so every time I have the ramen, it's going to have Korean barbecue beef in it. So it's going to be super amazing. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Steve, hang on a second. I'm going to take you out and put you back in. I think we're good now. All right.
Can you hear me now?
It's that West Texas internet that we love so much.
Is it mine? Oh, no.
Oh, it's okay. Hey, we're going to say that was the only time it'll happen. But anyway. Hey, we got it out of the way. So now we can get started.
Right?
Well, Steve, where you been? I think you took a trip recently. Tell us all about it.
We went to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and it was
Really?
initially one of those, we're going for a Philadelphia Eagles game because you all know I'm a huge Philadelphia Eagles fan. And we also went on a food tour and just stuffed ourselves silly. There's two spots that I really wanted to go to that I didn't get to go to. D'Alessandro's, which I've been wanting to go there for like, this is the third visit I've been to, and I still haven't yet to go. So I'm disappointed in that one. And Mom's Kitchen. I heard about that one on Triple D, and I'll get to that story here in a bit. So, yeah.
Okay.
But either way, it's always a good time when you go to Philadelphia and you just eat and catch all the history and then eat some more, and then you walk and then you eat some more and then walk. I mean, that's just what we do.
That's what you do. We travel to eat, and everybody out there knows by now this show loves a good travel and food recap. So let's have it. Start us off at the beginning.
Well, when we got to Philadelphia, my father joined us, and his plane was about an hour behind after we got there. So we stayed in the airport because we got there an hour late. So I was in the mode of, you know what? We're going to have a beer. We're going to enjoy ourselves. And this was like on a Saturday, right? So we came across this place called Chicky and Petey's. Have you ever heard of them?
It kind of sounds familiar, but like also sometimes you just get that effect where your brain could be making it up. So,
well,
I don't know.
You might have. It's got to be a chain because I mean there's a handful of them, and I guess it's a northeastern thing. But
all right, so Chicky and Pete's sports bar chain featuring a crab heavy menu.
Was it Pete's?
Did they have crab fries?
Yes.
Yeah. So Chicky's and
we had their crab fries.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Now, what do you think of when you hear crab fries?
Melted cheese, crab, green onions, Old Bay.
Okay, it had none of that. Well, minus the Old Bay, it had none.
Seriously?
None of that. It was, I guess, it's just like Old Bay seasoning, or crab seasoning. And what's my favorite fry in the world? Crinkle cut fries. Yeah. I say that sarcastically, but
so facetious.
But here's the thing, though, it was delicious. Like it's a good salty snack. And this was like the first time in many, many years where I've had crinkle cut fries that were actually crispy. I think that's why I don't like them, because every time I've had them, they're just not cooked long enough,
Steve, you have Brahms out there?
Huh?
Do you have Brahms out there?
No, what's that?
It's an ice cream place, but they also have like burgers and fries. They make a crispy crinkle cut. So if you get over to like the Dallas and anything on 35 between Dallas and Austin area anytime, you gotta go find it. I think they could win you over with their crinkle cut fry.
Okay.
It's really the best one to me.
Deal. I'll have to check it out.
Do you know how much I love Old Bay though, Steve?
It's good.
Have you ever had the Old Bay flavored goldfish crackers?
No.
Dude, you need them in your life. They're so good.
Man.
They're so good.
Have you ever used Old Bay on like brisket?
Oh yeah. I'm a really big fan of putting Old Bay in the unexpected places. Chicken salad, really great in chicken salad.
So yeah, I was expecting, like crab and some sort of cheese and all sorts of stuff. Yeah. Although it didn't come with the cheese sauce, like for dipping.
Okay, and that was going to be my next question. Like, I wanted to know like what you were dipping it in, with ketchup or something else.
Yeah, it was just like their house-made cheese or something like that.
Okay.
And so it was really good. Like you start eating a fry or two, you're kind of hungry. And you're like, okay, I don't know if I'm enjoying this because it's really good or I'm hungry. And as you fill up,
sometimes
you're
both.
still eating them. And you're like, okay, I'm not hungry, but I'm still eating these. So
like chips and salsa, man, right?
It was just really good. Yeah, exactly.
Like chips and salsa. You're like, whether I'm hungry or not's irrelevant.
Yeah. Exactly.
So the cheese sauce, was it warm or like warmish?
Yes.
Or okay.
Yeah, it was warm.
Was it more like case, like a nacho or like fondue type?
It was more like a fondue.
Okay, because I know that you're a big fan of like the like a seafood Alfredo or like a lobster fondue or something. And so when I think of crab fries, right, I would like ultra Old Bay a fry, a really crispy fry, and then I would probably cover it in like lobster and crab fondue. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Some
would do
Gouda,
that. That
some
sounds.
Gouda. Oof.
Oh man, you're making me
What?
hungry.
I know I'm hungry right now. What else did you eat? What came next?
So once we got into like Philadelphia, like from the airport, I took my dad to like the tourists, like the Pats and Geno's, because he had never had it and he'd never been to
Nice.
Philadelphia. So I was like, okay, well, this is what we're gonna do. Now, of course, a lot of people say, the locals say it's a tourist trap. Don't go there. But I figured let's do it because why not, right? And
Yeah.
so we went to Pat's first. And of course, they had the longer line. You waited there for like 30, 45 minutes. And we got like an extra cheesesteak, And so, I mean, they roll it all up and it's just like tons of cheese with your Philly cheesesteak and whatnot. It was really good. It was messy. It was delicious. You're trying to like eat it and not make a huge mess all over yourself, but you want to eat it with a fork, but you don't want to look like, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I did both. I don't care. I cleaned myself up. But of course, I have a lot of facial hair. So all that cheese got in my beard and it was totally worth it, you know?
Yep.
And so of course, then we went across the street to Geno's and we were served rather quick, I want to say their bread is a little bit better at Geno's, but quality, like with everything else, I got to give Pat's, a kudos to that one.
Okay, I like it. I mean, it's always funny that people want to get in these like knockdown, drag out fights over, the McDonald's versus Burger King or whatever. I honestly think if somebody's doing something well, you can find something good about
and
you can find,
you know what I mean? But you can find good in like both places. Like they're both good.
Yeah.
Like what I liked about Geno's was that, like I said, their bread was a little bit better. And even like all the cheese, it was all inside the actual sandwich. And so it's less messy, but it's still filling. And of course, my wife eats like a bird. She has like 2 bites and then she's stuffed. So I had to eat 2 sandwiches all by myself.
I mean, you had to take one for the team. Thank you so much for your service, Stephen.
So then we went to, it was like next door, a couple doors down from Geno's, and it was called Cannoli King.
Okay.
And
that's the picture you sent me, right? Or that
was one of them, yeah.
Yes.
And we got their pistachio cannoli. They had all sorts of stuff. I was kind of kicking myself because, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wanted to try that pumpkin spice cannoli because it's intriguing, and I wanted to try it just to try it.
You would.
But pistachio, you can't go wrong with that.
You can't.
You just can't. And
I love a classic cannoli, and I don't want the non-Italian Americans messing it up with any of that whipped cream cherries business, right? Like I want just the classic that,
like that
ricotta.
The
reason why I like a cannoli so much is because it's not overly sweet. That's the traditional one.
Yeah.
It's not overly sweet. It's just the cheese and the little orange zest comes through, and you got the shell, and oh my gosh.
Is it mascarpone or is it ricotta that they use typically?
Mascarpone for tiramisu and
ricotta for
cannoli. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, yeah, I
like. It's been a hot minute since I made a cannoli.
Yeah, same. But here's the crazy part: is we weren't too hungry for dessert, so we kept it for a little later in case we got hungry, which didn't happen until like the following morning. So I woke up the following morning, had coffee and my cannoli. Holy crap, it was just good. Like it, totally worth it.
Oh yeah.
And like you were saying, it's not overly sweet, so it hit the spot, especially with like a hot coffee. Oh my goodness. So yeah. And of course, go ahead.
Why the older I get, the less. I mean, I'm always looking for some savory component in dessert. Like nothing crazy. Like doesn't have to be like peppercorns or a vegetable or anything, but just like it doesn't need to be that sweet.
Yeah, no, I agree. So of course, the following morning we went to Reading Terminal and we went to Pearl's because, of course, that's what you do.
All right.
And I went back for my Scrapple because, I like Scrapple. It's good.
Because it's delicious. That's why.
And then you get the salmon Benedict with grits. And so, it was just good, the grits. Well, I mean, we'll start with the Scrapple. I mean, I've talked about it before and I enjoyed it very much so. It was, piping hot. You want to you cut into it, let it air out a little bit, so you're not like burning the crap out of your mouth. And so, yeah, the salmon Benedict, smoked salmon, classic, simple. That's what I like about it.
So this Benedict, what was the base? Was it just regular English muffins?
Yeah, just English muffin, smoked salmon, or cured salmon, and then your poached egg and your hollandaise. That's it. Simple.
Did they put dill because it was salmon?
No.
Okay, you got spared from that monstrosity.
I would have eaten it anyway.
I know you would have. I'm so proud of how far you've come. But inquiring minds need to know, like, can they make grits right in Pennsylvania?
They make them pretty good. They could use a little bit of a little more seasoning, but I mean, yeah, no, they were still good. And so, as we're walking around, we came across, like, I guess it was like Middle Eastern, or I don't think it was Greek, but
maybe like a Lebanese.
Could be, but I came across this thing called kibbe, and it's like
kibbe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never had it before, never heard of it.
It's delicious.
Huge, yeah, no lie, it's delicious. It was amazing. Like I was just blown away on how much I enjoyed it. And they fried it to where it was just warm, not like piping hot or ice cold.
Yeah.
I would go back and get it all over again.
And for those of you who don't know, kibbe is like a Lebanese and Syrian specialty, and it's kind of like it's like a deep fried croquette of like ground meat and bulgur wheat.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was good.
So good.
That's an understatement.
But you've had me at deep fried and croquette, and then the rest of the things were just pleasant surprises. Like it's kibbe's good, man. Was it lamb or beef, Stu?
Beef.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it.
And then I think they put like a little side of like yogurt for dipping.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, you're more focused on like just the actual kibbe itself without dipping it. It didn't even need the yogurt dipping sauce, To
me, that yogurt dipping sauce, it's the same way I think about sour cream for a baked potato. It's just to cool it down so I can eat it faster.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like the flavor is fine alone, but it's like, this is how to not burn yourself.
Yeah.
So nice.
So then we kind of played a little bit of tourist. I took my dad to like the Church of the Basilica to go check out, and you catch a mass and all that. Get your pray on, And then we went down to the Eagles game, down to the stadium.
I love when you can fit that into a vacation, a little spiritual.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first off, it's a really cool church. It was built like in the 1840s, I want to say.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not only that, what I was really hoping to catch was like the choir where they sing in there. And like they use all the acoustics of the actual building. It's just magnificent.
Oh, I love it.
There's no other way to describe it. Like you can use amazing, it's extraordinary, but no, like magnificent to me is the perfect adjective for it.
Oh, man, I love it.
Yeah. So then, like I said, then we went down to the game. We watched the Eagles barely beat the Browns, but a win is a win. And and like
there's as you retell that story, it becomes like we barely beat them, we almost didn't, and it becomes like we whooped them, we mopped the floor with them. It's like when you catch a fish and you're telling the story.
By the end of this episode, we beat the crap out of them.
Shut up.
They were begging for mercy. But it was just one of those things where like the game was a lot of fun. My dad had never been to one. This was my second one in Philadelphia. And I mean, just the experience is just so much fun, And we were going to take the train back to like downtown Philadelphia where we were staying. But man, it was packed, So I figured this would be a good time. Let's go eat at Mom's Cafe. That's like the place. And I don't know what happened. Either I just wasn't paying that much attention to my Uber app. And so we get picked up by the Uber, and I'm thinking, we're going to go there. It's awesome. He drops us off like exactly where my phone says. I'm looking around like, where is it? Exactly. So then I started looking around, and so I Google it, and it's like we were still like 20 minutes away. I was like,
no.
I got disappointed, but of course it's one of those things where it's like, look, you know what? One door closes, another one opens. And there was a bar across the street. Okay. It was like an outdoor patio bar or something like that. I don't know what it was called. But
one door closes, another bar opens.
What's that?
One door closes, another bar opens.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So we had a couple drinks there, and then we went to some like pizza place a few doors down. I don't remember what it was called, but it was all right. We got like garlic
Serviceable.
knots, and the garlic knots didn't have a, again, meh. That's all I can say.
Meh. I
Meh.
mean, it's no DeCasa.
The problem, yeah, exactly. The problem though was that, I told everyone in the group we need to just get one thing so we can go somewhere else and eat, somewhere else and get a bunch of these,
Progressive
little
dinner.
tasting. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we didn't listen because we were too hungry, So then we went back to like the hotel area, and across the street, there's another pizzeria called Pizzeria Vetri. And this is where you're going to get a little bit disappointed in me because I was looking at their cocktail menu and I saw a truffle honey sour. I was like,
I was really going to be like, I could never be disappointed in you, Stephen, but I don't think I've ever been more disappointed in you, Stephen.
Well, just because it sounds cool doesn't mean it is cool.
Oh,
it was all right.
Oh,
it was all right, but it was a little too harsh on the truffle. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh man, I want to love this so much.
I have a question. So was it truffle oil?
It's like truffle honey with, I think there was like bits and pieces of like a little bit of truffle.
So
like you could definitely tell.
Maybe it's like flavored like honey with paste then.
Yeah, pretty much.
They made like a mixture. I was just trying to understand like how you, I mean, truffle oil is a fat, so essentially you could wash a bourbon with it, but I don't understand. I guess I was trying to figure out like, did this drink separate, right? Did it have a lot of floater? Do you know what I mean?
No, it stayed together, but again, just because it sounds cool doesn't mean it's the greatest.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah. So then after that, I had an orange cello spritz.
Okay.
Orange cello. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had to think about that one because for some reason my phone like auto corrected it to where it's like 2 words
Jello?
versus one.
Orange jello
versus like the limoncello. So
your phone thought you were talking about a fruit and a musical instrument.
I mean, probably.
Yeah.
Smartphones aren't very smart people.
They're not.
Or it might be the operator, one of the two. So that one was good. It was a little bit better. It was a little bit more bright and aromatic and whatnot. And so we got their burrata and prosciutto board, which it was really good. Of course, it's burrata cheese. Who doesn't like burrata cheese? And who doesn't like prosciutto?
Yeah.
And who doesn't like hot, focaccia bread?
I mean, I'm just saying.
Bread. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So So we decided then we're just gonna order more food. So we got some beets with Robiolina cheese.
Okay. Tell me what
that was really good. Roasted beets. Of course, I love roasted beets. They're earthy. They're a little sweet. And then you have that cheese to like really complement it.
So what is Robiolina cheese, Steve? Had you heard of it before?
I had never heard of it before. Lena cheese. Oh, Robiola cheese. I apologize.
I just Googled it. It kind of looks like feta. Is that not?
A little bit, yeah. It's an Italian soft ripened cheese of the Stracchino family.
Like a brie.
Yes. Kind of, yeah.
Oh, of the Stracchino family. So they, the inside of a burrata ball is called stracciatella. So probably like really similar, creamy.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I mean, it was really good though. So more soft cheese with more soft cheese, and then they said, "Well, we have happy hour, so all of our pizzas that start with M are like $5 or something inexpensive." So we got a margarita pizza, and of course, it's Napolitana.
Napolitana.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't say it today.
Napolitana.
Yeah,
you got it.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, that style of pizza is just delicious. And then that's when we had our pear and blue cheese and hazelnut. Oh, that one was so good. And it was funny because, me and my wife were like, this is going to be really good. It sounds good. It is good. It's going to be awesome. And then my dad was kind of a little reluctant on it. But once he took a bite out of it, he was like, yeah, this is really good. So
sometimes you got to help the people. They just don't know.
Yeah.
You got to show them what's good sometimes.
Oh, yeah. So then, of course, the following day, we went back to the Reading terminal because, of course,
Mm,
there's more than just this was Sunday and now this is Monday. And you're like,
nice.
we got to go get some more food. You know, like the Amish donuts are not open. You have to try these Amish donuts. And what I love about them is, I mean, I've talked about them before. I've been there before. It
Yeah.
was called Beeler's Donuts.
Yeah.
And I love their imperfect. Their imperfections is what makes them perfect because they're not perfectly
Right.
round, like they're oval shaped and things like that. And I mean, they look good. They are good. And yeah. So there's no comparison to like Krispy Kreme or other.
I think
donuts.
there's really, you know, I think we talked about Krispy Kreme before. I like them. They're just too sweet.
Yeah.
But it is
These
part
are-
of their signature. Like, you know, they're glazed a certain way. And like, that's why other people like them. And that's okay. They can have that, you know?
Yeah.
But I love like a cake donut. And I love kind of a less sweet handmade yeast donut. I love
Mhm.
that stuff.
And they had like the apple fritters and they have like their regular glazed donuts and all that. And of course, those are delicious as well. So you have to get like one glazed donut, an apple fritter. I had like a salted caramel stuffed donut. And that one was a little bit on the sweet
Ooh,
side. So
yeah, that's a lot.
yeah. And of course, you're only supposed to get one because you're like, oh, this is a lot. But you're on vacation, so you can't not do it, you know?
So it was the three of you, right?
Yes.
So did each
And
one
then-
of you get 3 donuts and then you guys tried to eat like 9 donuts, or how did that work?
Well, I think it was more like 5 donuts. But then,
Oof.
like Ursula, my wife had the salted caramel donut.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's this place called The Original Turkey there in the Reading terminal where they just kind of like they cook their turkey. It's like a big old giant brick of like turkey breast where it's, you know, like all kind of pressed together to be.
Oh yeah. So for
But
those of you
still.
who don't know what Steve's talking about, it's like they debone a turkey and they kind of tie it like a roast, so it's just one big breast roll.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But either way, like that turkey was juicy. So I had like their it's called a dinner sandwich where it's one of my all-time favorite sandwiches where it's like turkey, cranberries, stuffing,
Yes.
mashed
Oh.
potatoes. Oh my
Steve,
gosh.
you didn't bring me one? Like,
You're a lot closer to Philadelphia than I am at this point. So
all right, that's fair.
it's just
That's
a hop,
fair.
skip, and a jump away for you.
That's fair.
And I was, you know, you offer a bite to everyone and they're like, no, it's okay. I'm good. And this and that. And so you have to eat this giant sandwich all to yourself. Now they have like a display turkey sandwich and it looks just gorgeous. And then what you get after it's all rolled up, it's not the same, but my goodness, if it isn't delicious.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can say.
So,
and I felt kind of,
So I was just going to tell everybody out there that Steve sent me a picture of this thing, and it was massive. It was like the size of his forearm. Like, it was insane. Yeah, pretty much. And it looked amazing.
Yeah. And so, you know, unfortunately we were so full that we didn't eat lunch. So we ended up going to have some more cocktails and some appetizers at this place called Almira Modern Greek, which was right next to our hotel.
Nice.
Now, we had the saganaki, and I don't know about you, but I love the saganaki where it's like just like cheese.
I love it a lot.
It's set on fire with
Uzo.
Rakia? Uzo, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
And you know, you have to order bread to go with it because if not, then you just get cheese, like flaming cheese. You're like, I mean, something.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. You just need like a vehicle to get it into your face.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, then we also had charred octopus. Now, oh my goodness, that charred octopus. I've had some really good octopus in my life. I've made some really good octopus. This one was one of the top ones I've had in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Steve, I've never had octopus at a Greek restaurant. Did you think it was weird? Is it
No.
weird?
Actually, I'm not gonna lie. Every time I see it, it doesn't matter if it's a Asian restaurant, French, Italian. If I see octopus, I'm like, I gotta have octopus.
Okay.
You know,
nice.
It's one of those things I just really enjoy. And it had like pickled onions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was good. You know,
love that.
And then of course we went back to the hotel. Like every single night we were at the hotel in the bar, just enjoying wine. Myself, I drink responsibly. So I drank nothing but red wine because I know if I have nothing but spirits, I tend to get a little rambunctious. So
I like
yeah.
it. I like it. Also, same.
What's that?
Also, same.
Yeah. Now, it was, I mean, everything that we did was just a lot of fun. And then Tuesday morning was the day that we flew out, or Tuesday after, we took off like right after 12. But, you wake up, you go to Reading Terminal, you have some more Beeler's Donuts. And then we went to one of the other Amish restaurants there in the Reading Terminal. And I have to look at the picture because I kind of forgot what I got, type of deal. Oh, yeah. So we got like some loaded potatoes, like as an appetizer.
Yeah.
My wife got this giant pancake. I got their apple cinnamon French toast. What was cool was the French toast has like it was just completely covered with cinnamon. Like, like the cinnamon challenge where people would take like a big old spoon and then they would just spit it all up coughing.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. And it had this big old, big old spoon, hunk of butter next to it.
So
it was good, dude.
Okay. So the cinnamon though, like dry or
yeah, I mean,
cooked onto the bread or?
Yeah. I don't know if you can see it or not, but.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I can
see
that.
And of course, turkey bacon. And so you're like trying to eat everything.
Turkey bacon.
And not just get it all down because you're spending all this money on it, know?
Yeah.
And, you have coffee. And then the lady said, this also comes with juice. So you're like, okay, cool.
Good
and
Lord.
Of course, then come to find out it's like freshly squeezed orange juice. And that's like a million times better than like regular orange juice.
It's
you know what I'm saying?
So good.
And so while we're waiting for our food, there's this big old gentleman that walks in with like this really rad haircut. And I look at him and I'm like, I think I know who it is. And so I had to Google it, because that's how bad of a fan I am. I Google it, Philadelphia Eagles players, and he pops up. I'm like, that's Cam Jurgens. And he's walking by, and he knew I'm like looking at him like, I know who he is. And he's just kind of giving me that look of like, what's up with this guy?
Yeah.
He's walking by, I'm like, hey, man, are you who I think you are? He's like, probably. I was like, Cam? He goes, yeah, that's me. I go, dude. And so I got up. And of course, everyone that's hanging out with me, they're all like, who's this guy? And why is Steven leaving? I go, we traveled from Texas to watch you all play. It was an awesome game, and of course I'm like, can I get a picture with you? He's like, yeah. Man, for sure.
Aww.
And of course, the reason why I am the way I am is because the last thing I want is to say, I met this person, and it's like not really them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
But then I looked at he was wearing a hoodie, and it said like NFLPA, which stands for the National Football League Players Association. So I'm like,
okay.
He's a legit, he plays center for the Eagles, and I'm like, okay, cool. I got my picture. I was like, thank you very much. Shook his hand, and just let him enjoy his breakfast, and I'm enjoying my breakfast.
Well, it sounds like he was nice.
Oh yeah, he's also like. He's like mid to late 20s, so of course he has no reason to be like rude. Like
he's not hardened and rude yet.
Yeah, he's cool. He was super nice,
right?
And I still remember the day that he got drafted. I thought this guy he played for Nebraska. He's pretty good, and he's a big guy. So awesome. And so we finished our breakfast. I downed my coffee, and and I went up to him and I said, "Hey man, thank you again for the picture. Keep up the great work and have a great day." Because I mean, being from Texas, it's that like Southern hospitality. I know not everybody has it, but us being in the hospitality industry, like that's just what we do.
You can't really turn it off. Like once you're in the service industry, you just can't turn it off.
And I'm not gonna lie, like I was already amped up on coffee, and then seeing him, like I was like, like trying not to like just fan out and keep myself cool and calm.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So after we had that giant breakfast, of course, we check out of the hotel and we go to the airport because, my dad doesn't have a fast pass or global entry. So he has to go through the actual security line. And you know how it is. Like you go to a big city, typically like the lines are real long in security.
Mm-hmm.
So me and my wife, we went through security like that. And as soon as we get past there, my dad's right there with us. And, it's like, what's going on? He goes, yeah, they just pulled me into a brand new line. So I was in the front of the line, so it was cool, right?
Nice. Good for him.
So then we went back to Chicky and Petey's. And the reason why we went back is because when we were there initially, they were talking about making like a champagne margarita.
Okay.
Now that's one of those where just because it sounds cool, in this case, it was cool. It was actually not bad at all.
So, Steven, this was in the airport, right?
We're back in the airport.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you liked something enough to pay 60% more for it in the airport?
Yes.
Okay. I like it.
Well, I mean, it was one of those things that just sounded great. So we're like, well, we're going to be waiting, like we might as well go somewhere that we know is going to be good and try something new. Nice. And so it was totally worth it. Totally worth it.
I love it. Did you eat or did you just grab a drink?
We grabbed drinks more than anything else because we were just still so full from breakfast. By the way, so my wife got just one pancake. One pancake. I swear it was bigger than my face. It was huge and it was thick as can be.
Yeah.
Like those Amish ladies bake really good food and they give giant servings.
Yeah.
So you think you're getting like, something small that'll, hold you over for a little bit. No, this holds you over all day, So that's what that was.
Awesome.
And then, so we leave Philadelphia. We go from like Philadelphia to St. Louis, where my buddy Phil is from, who we just talked to.
Yeah,
of course, I didn't have enough time to, leave the airport, go hang out, and come back. So flew from St. Louis down to Dallas, Love, and you know exactly where I'm talking about when I say it's that restaurant that's like right there in the middle.
Coal River.
Yes.
Yep.
It was a letdown. Totally.
Well, you know that I used to work there, right?
I know.
Yeah. I know. I understand the level of letdown. I don't care if they hear this. They can't touch me. I don't care.
Well, the problem was I get there, and of course, so we had breakfast early in the morning. This is already kind of like later in the afternoon / evening, like 6 o'clock at night. Yet you're going like all day without eating anything. I get a burger, a Chipotle burger, and I ordered an old fashioned, a Balcones old fashioned.
Yeah.
My wife gets I forgot what just a cold beer and like some sort of patty melt. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Or it was like some Gouda burger. Anyways, so it's like 20 minutes, nothing. 30 minutes pulls around. My wife has her beer, and the guy, our server, comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, we don't have the Balcones. We can't find the Balcones." I was like, "You know what? Just don't worry about it. It's fine." And then like 45 minutes later comes around. He's like, "I forgot to put your order in. I will get that in right now." And he's like,
"Oh my God, he could have mentioned that the first time." Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was like, "Look, I'm tired. I don't really care, but I should have just gone to like Chick-fil-A or something." And
there's a Moe's Southwest.
I
right?
thought
Just
about that. Yes.
Cool River.
And so I should have just been like, you know what? Don't worry about it. We're just gonna go. But I was like, I'm tired. I'm hungry. What I'm thinking I'm ordering sounds good.
Sure.
And total letdown. It was just like sesame seed buns, a hamburger patty, and like Chipotle sauce. Like I was like expecting like a Chipotle mayo, maybe, and it was like a piece of cheese.
Pretty lofty expectations for the airport.
Well, I mean
that airport, DFW has some great spots. Love Field is easier to get through. I will say that.
I prefer Love Field hands down.
But
every time
you've got limited. It's just your options are limited. I'll just
there's a bar a couple doors down, and I saw French 75 on the menu. I was like, man, I should have just gone there. What's wrong with me? Because I love a good
French 75, and then you go back across where the arrival departure board is, and then get a Chick-fil-A sandwich.
Yeah, no kidding. That's what I should have done. Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
But either way, Philadelphia was
no love lost for me for working in the airport.
Right.
That's what I said.
I don't blame you. But yeah, it was a good trip all around, and I didn't get to again eat at all the places I wanted to, but it's okay because that just means now I got to go back yet again.
I mean, you got to leave them wanting a little more. You know what I mean? Like you can't knock everything out in one trip.
I tried,
I've tried also.
but I tried and I
You
failed.
don't have to do all
But
that.
it's
Yeah,
fine.
you don't have to do all that. Well,
But I
listeners,
did
you
discover a good pizza place, so that's a plus.
yeah, I mean that's always a plus anywhere, I think. I was just gonna say, listeners, you'll get to meet Phil I think next week after this one comes out. So yeah, it's a really fun conversation about bartending. So you're gonna love
Yes.
it. Well, Steven, I'm glad you had an amazing time. I can't wait to hear all about it. And you know what? Honestly, I hadn't even looked to see how close I am, but I'm only a 6-hour drive. So
Really?
like, yeah. So I mean, for me, that's probably 8 hours because I don't know. It just seems I don't get everywhere as fast as other people do, I think. And I always kind of have to stop more, I think.
That's
But still,
well,
that's not bad.
that's an hour-long flight, so there you go.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Okay.
Sometimes it'll be like gas prices versus airplane ticket. Which one makes more sense? But
I'd just pay for the airplane ticket and Uber everywhere and walk.
for me, it's time. It's like
Yeah,
if I get there and start my trip. But I'm one of those people that I'll get to the airport like 2 hours early to start my trip there. I want to read a book. I want to watch a series on my phone. I want to get expensive airport food. It feels like a treat. So even though it's a total
go to the Midland Airport, you want to get there like 30 minutes before they start boarding because if you got fast pass, you're good. And the bar there,
yeah,
that's all there really is.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. Well, Steven, thank you so much for giving us the recap. I'm going to call this your return to Reading.
I appreciate you all letting me rabble on for a little bit of time and
rabble. Steve, I'll talk to you soon, but right now we got to go. Bye.